What's up, Malbis fam? It's Malbis Monday. I got a show coming up this weekend on Halloween, October 31st, 2020, and I'm trying to figure out what gear I'm going to use for my live set. So I got some keyboards, I have a bunch of stuff that'll control Ableton, I have some fun little MIDI equipment, my interface, my computer, some gifts from multiple friends, from this push from my homie Cody, the drum pad from my homie Connor, this is also from Cody, and then just some of my stuff that I've stayed using for a while. And I wanted to record the process of me figuring out what I'm going to use, because I don't know. Right now I have no idea what gear I'm going to use tonight or tomorrow night, whatever night. And I've watched some videos before and watched people do it, so I want to do my own. So this will be that video. Alright, so I got a couple of lists. Alright, so definitely need drums, obviously. So the biggest question is, do I want to play them or do I want to have them previously recorded? There's a couple options if I play them. If I play them, I could use the drum pads. Those have stock sounds and they're pretty quality. Or I could use these up here to play them for the drum pad, which could already cut out a huge piece of gear, because one thing you need to think about is space. How much stage space do I have? And I know these sets I'm playing are small tables, so I have to think about how much space I can use. So that may not be the best bet. I always bring it out, I always want to use it, but I'm not 100% ready, so probably gonna knock that off yet for now. But because I also don't have a best way to loop that thing, because I'd need to loop it through audio and like get the click track down, and also the MIDI would have to go into this thing and it'd be mono, and just every time I think it's a little too much at the moment. So I'm gonna knock that off. I know I could have just not even put it up here, but I want to show you just my thought process of what's going into it. All right, and so I'm not gonna use that for drums. I think I'm gonna use a mixture. This is what I've been doing recently of preparing some loops beforehand of me playing around. That's what I'll do tonight. It's the 29th currently, and I'm probably just gonna make a couple loops that I like, maybe go through some older songs and find a couple of drum kits that I fuck with and lock it in and make a solid 5 to 10 drum grooves that I really fuck with, and make 5 to 10 solid drum grooves that I really like, and just rock it from there. And if I want to add little things in here or there, I can use the pad, but I'll probably just be using either this, the push, or this to be controlling the loops I've already made tonight. So it's still my own, creative expression. It's just in multiple stages, because I'm still new at this. I've only been doing this year, and so I've only played one full live set of this like 2 weeks ago. So I'm still kind of figuring it out. And you got to work to your skills, your strengths, your weaknesses, and know your place. It's like I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself. I still want to give it y'all good music. Okay, so I like that in for drums. Figured out. Check mark. I'm gonna use this for drums and loop it in through Ableton. So that'll be the next part. Okay, obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but I gotta use Ableton to run all this stuff. This is MIDI, that's MIDI, that's MIDI, that's MIDI, and that's MIDI. The only things that aren't are the drum pad that is out, and this, which I'll get to in a second, and I think I wanna use because it sounds fun, and I've never used any kind of digital or analog synth in a set before. So that'll be fun. But I think I love my big keyboard. I love my big keyboard, and it's so nice, and I've been messing with it, so it's hard to say no to it. So I think that's already locked in. I'm definitely gonna bring it, even though it's big, it's horrendous in that kind of space-saving set. But I really don't care. I'll have an extra stand for it over there, and I'll make it fit, because that will have to go on the actual table. Okay, so right now I have this. The computer is an automatic, because that's my brain, that's my Ableton, and I use a Lenovo. And then I have the Focusrite 2i2. Now, this is the second generation one. It's it's pretty decent. It works great. I wish it had a couple more inputs to use. Right now I only have one XLR and 1/4 inch. So I have to think about that for outside sounds, which is why another reason I can't even use the Alesia Sample Pad Pro, because this Yamaha that I plan on using will be taking up the only 1/4 inch input I have, and this is only 1/4 inch out. So I could use some adapters, but then that's too much. So 1/4 inch input into here, from here, check, perfect. Okay, A mic, if I have a mic and want to use a mic, I can plug it into the XLR. Perfect, check. And I think I will, because that's what I'll use for these. I'm gonna hook up a mic through there, run in with some of this cool stuff. Yeah, all that stuff. And I'll run it through the mic for the XLR and put some delay and chorus and other trippy effects and stuff that I like to do to add some extra rhythm and ambiance and just, you know, live expression, because it's fun. You know, that's the whole point of all this. So check, I got both my inputs ready to go. I got my outputs. This is kind of like my mixer in a sense. It's my audio interface, but it's my mixer. And actually Ableton is technically the mixer. This is just the interface. I got two RCAs coming out of it in the back, and it plugs in through USB, so I don't even need a power spot, so that's nice. And I have 4 spots on USB on my computer, actually 5 plus a USB-C, so we're already good. That's just 1, and then 2, this is a USB, so this is just MIDI. 3, audio. I don't know if I'm gonna bring this or not. It's super cool, it's got a lot of knobs, but I might, I usually bring these 2 together, and I use this as my sub bass and some other synthesizers, and this as a bunch of knobs. And this is also my APC to control Ableton, to decide, like, I can start clips, I can stop clips, I can turn the record on to different sounds to record synths and then keys and da-da-da-da, which is all coming out, most of those sounds are gonna be coming out of Ableton. I might use some Serum, I might use Contact, and I'll probably use some Operator Ableton-based presets too. Maybe, no samples. Probably not samples unless I get some friends to come play live instruments, actually like guitar or something. That'd be the only way I think I'll use them. Or I might even do a couple little DJ things in between, maybe play a couple songs that I've made with some friends, just to, I don't know, keep the vibe going. It's Halloween, I want to get kind of crazy, and there can be a limit to how experimental you can get with these things versus produced music. So we'll see. All right, let me check. So I need drums, check, that's on here. Synths, check, I'm gonna use this. Keys, check, I can also use this or this for both of those. A bass, now I was messing around with this last night and the bass sounded pretty nice, so I might mess around with that and see how that sounds. I kinda gotta just check out some audio quality settings. But again, I can use Ableton for basically all of this. I could run the whole thing off of just this and my computer and my interface if I really wanted to, but I want a little bit more control, so I'm not. So I don't think I'm gonna use this at the moment. That might change by the end of the video, but I kind of use this. It is pretty big, but I think I can make that work with the table space, because right now it's just, I should have marked off maybe with some tape or something how big the table would actually be to actually prepare for it, but that's okay. Computer's that big. This has to go on the table too, so that's the only other thing is, okay, like I can put maybe computer, keyboard, or keyboard, computer, interface, and then maybe almost like this maybe, I feel like it'd be at least this half of the table, so I feel like that's enough space to put the computer, the interface, this, and this. But then I have the push, and I don't really know how to use it completely yet. If I can figure it out tonight, I'll probably use that and cut this, and that'd be awesome. But they're roughly the same size, so it's not even that big of a deal. But that'd be really cool, because I would just, you know, I could launch scenes, I can go through the instruments, and I could potentially close my computer and put this on top of the computer to save space as well and not have to look at it. But I don't know if I can get to that level in one night. So if I'm gonna, all right, I'll give you, there's gonna be 2 options for the setup. So there's gonna be the play it safe setup, and then there's gonna be the dream setup that I think I could probably pull off if I stay up until 8 in the morning. So dream setup, the push, synthesizer, still this keyboard because I love it, and then just my computer, plus the interface, because they go hand in hand. And if I potentially use this thing because it's got a bunch of knobs and mappings, and I could leave that separate from the push, so I can have some go-to knobs that will automatically be mapped without, you know, worrying about if I switch the scenes in Ableton or something and decide that, you know, I want to move this effect, but I switched off the instrument, so now I got to go back and find it, and next thing I know, I missed the drop, and all those things. It might be a little more complicated. So the Midi Twister, the Ableton Push 2, is that the 2? I think it's the 2. The Lenovo computer with my Scarlett Focusrite 2x2 interface, a Yamaha workstation, a PSS 480 music station. That's kind of cool. Shout out Cody. Chili Beats. Chili. And then, of course, the MPK. And these things. Alright. That'll work. I've never done one of these videos before. We're going to cut that. Alright, that'll work. There's another setup I was going to do. Cut that part. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then the other setup will just be the play it safe setup, which is one I've done before. I know what works. I know it's good space, and I could just run it. You know, it's short notice. I got the show in a couple days, so I might just run it like this: computer, Midi Twister, interface, APC key 25, and my keyboard. And that would just be the go-to safe one. I'd probably still run this one too, just because it's audio and it's not gonna take away from anything. Even if I don't use it, and it's got some cool sounds that I would definitely use and put some effects on. So I would use all of this stuff right here for the play it safe one, even though that's still an awesome setup. And then the dream one is just with the push instead of this thing. Really, honestly, that's the only difference. So, you know, this can come in handy, that can come in handy, but for how big and bulky this is, I might just be better off either using this instead of these two, or just using the push. So there you go. It may not be the most straightforward answer, but it'll also just be a time of the essence thing. It's like, you know, I'm gonna mess around, I'm gonna try and do the dream setup, I'm gonna try and run the push, I'm gonna try and run it, and then if I feel like it's not working out exactly as I plan, I'll make adjustments, and that's all you gotta do. You know, you make a plan, and if it works out the way you think, awesome. If it doesn't, cool, just keep running it. So if you're at the show in Birmingham at the Upside Down Plaza on October 31st of 2020, come say what's up. I play at midnight. It's gonna be super fun. Wear a mask, all that fun stuff, and you know, don't come out if you're feeling sick or know anybody. You know, be considerate about people, and go make some music. You know, go do some art, do something fun that you like to do. It's Malbis Monday, baby. You know, and yeah, enjoy yourself. I hope you found this video entertaining and maybe a little helpful. If you want any more information on any of these pieces, I'll gladly explain. You know, if you want to see videos on individual pieces and how I use them in my set, or you know, how I use Ableton to run this stuff, hit me up. You know, if you want it, I don't mind at all doing a little video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff at Malbis Music, and go check out my tunes on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, you name it. I got you. And hit me up if you need anything. MalbisMusic.com, MalbisMusic@gmail.com. Just hit me up, and I will gladly answer all your questions, or even just statements when I have the time and I check it out. Much love. Happy music making. I'll record the set and post it after, and do a little follow-up video to show you what gear I actually did use and how it worked and what I liked and disliked about it. So until then, have a wonderful evening, and yeah, peace.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.